Well, at this point, still less than 2 weeks ago now, Seth Jones said that he was open to being traded, and I thought, okay, well, with the trade deadline being less than like 2 weeks away or like 2 weeks away or whatever, I was saying, okay, probably not going to happen before March 7th, but there is a good likelihood that it could happen in the off season, especially with the cap going up. There's probably more teams that would be willing to trade for Seth Jones, and you got more teams out there with more flexibility. But then there was that Utah game where, yeah, they lost 2-1, but if you look at all the metrics, they were outshot, outchanced to high hell, and really shouldn't have been 2-1. The only reason they were in that game was Arvid Soderblom as many times this year, and then Seth Jones comes out and says, "Oh, this is pathetic effort. We've been the same team, like we were right where we were when we started the season," and he wasn't wrong about that, but um, that's when all the urgency must have hit Kyle Davidson. From everything we've heard, team didn't like that. I would assume the players didn't like that, the coaching, or up to Kyle Davidson. Um, it would be one thing, if he was in this for the long haul and it's kind of a wake up call, but kind of just feels like someone being like, "Oh, here's my 2 weeks notice. He's a guy that's gonna leave. I can say whatever I want now," and kind of just felt like parting shots. And then a couple days ago on Saturday, we were originally gonna record, but we didn't that day. And I was gonna go. I went out with some friends, and right before I headed out, got the notification on my phone from Elliot Freeman. "Oh, Florida Panthers are discussing a trade with Seth Jones," and then like a few minutes later, they announced a trade. Florida Panthers get Seth Jones, fourth round pick, and then the Blackhawks get Spencer Knight and first round pick 2026, 2027. Doesn't matter. It's still a first round pick. You can use that as currency to get what you want. But there it is. Seth Jones is gone. I didn't think that was going to happen, but seeing all the reactions from this trade just makes me realize, like, the biggest thing about Seth Jones is everyone's perception about him. Like in 2017-18, Seth Jones was, I think, 23, 24 years old. He was leading the charge of that Columbus team that made it back to the playoffs. I think he finished fourth in Norris voting and had almost 60 points. And it was like, okay, we've got, Seth Jones could be one of the best defensemen coming up. Like, not even looking at the points, but you look at, right-handed defenseman, 6'4", can skate, can eat a lot of minutes. And I feel if that trade was made in the first place in 2018 as opposed to 2021, I feel like Hawks fans would look a lot more favorably on the trade. And even in 2020, there was a big thing, that game in the bubble where he played like 65 minutes with that game that went to five overtimes. And I feel like a lot of like old school people that watch the game or have like an old school mindset and don't really take into consideration analytics. We're like, "Oh, Seth Jones, he's this number one minutes eating defenseman who you can put on in any situation and he'll excel." And then that short 2021 season happened, and I feel like that's just ruined his reputation forever. It's either you view Seth Jones as the 2018 defenseman or you view him as the 2021 defenseman. And in that summer, Stan Bowman in that regime thought he was the 2018 defenseman, essentially mortgaged the future and signed him to a $76 million 8-year contract. And Blackhawks, for a multitude of reasons, like that team, like going into 21-22, that team could have made the playoffs or at the very least battle for a wild card spot, but it didn't work out today. There were internal factors as well as external factors that didn't allow that to happen. And then you get new regime in, guy who didn't trade for you, didn't give you that contract, and you go a few years with everything being ripped down the start. Yeah, it's no wonder Seth Jones wanted out. And yeah, I still got so many more thoughts. I don't want to keep rambling on. I want to hear what you think about it.
Well, hit the nail on the head with a lot of that. Will continue to say it till the cows come home. Even in 2021, this trade made 0 sense for either side, and
No.
Seth made this one of his destinations because he wanted to contend, and it's I just find it very funny because the other two teams he wanted to go to were Dallas and Colorado, who are both perennial contenders. So I don't really know where his frame of judgment's coming from. So, to see that interview today, that's just like, this isn't what I expected when I signed up. All you're telling me is that you're an idiot. That's all you're telling me. All you're telling me is you lack critical
Also,
thinking
money
skills.
talks.
I don't even care if money talks. You just lack critical thinking at that point, honestly. Oh, a team with their best players being past 33 years old is not going to be good in 3 years? Oh, my God. This is news to me, guys. Holy shit. You're an idiot. Oh, my God. You're an idiot. And you know what? You could sit in the corner, take your ball, go home, cry, not do anything to help this team get better. I think it's hilarious how it took till him basically requesting a trade on the night of the biggest game hockey's had in the last God knows how long. You're a loser. You're a loser. You should have never had an A on your chest. The fact that you even wanted to be a captain is hilarious to me because you don't have half of the leadership qualities for that. This goes back years, but we'll just go off of this year. You didn't fucking answer any questions after the team got thumped in the Winter Classic. Most leaders would normally answer questions for that. Time after time, your play has taken a substantial dip. I really don't care if it's been a revolving door on your left side. Guess what? You make $9.5 million fucking dollars. You're going to have to learn how to play with Alec Martinez sometimes. This player has bewildered me beyond all means. He's actually a locker room cancer, and I think it shows with just how the team played the night before in Anaheim. That was probably the most physical I've seen that team play in God knows how long. It's really hard to, even show signs of growth with a young team when one of your so-called veterans is pouting in the corner the whole time, negging out. Plain and simple. So get off my team. I know we had this talk a couple days ago. People were saying the pressure's off Seth Jones. Fuck no. The pressure is on you so much higher now. It is on you so much higher. Guess what? You don't have anyone to point fingers at anymore. You're playing on the Stanley Cup fucking champions. You're getting paid not at a number one defenseman rate anymore. It's time for you to nut up or shut up. Plain and simple. If you can't fucking put up on the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, newsflash, asshole, it might be you. It might not be the team anymore. I actually am so sick of this player. It's unbelievable. And I'm glad to see that the Panthers are most Panthers fans aren't too fond of this trade. And understandably so, because you're going to get a guy who will not do shit to contribute to winning. And then when you lose, he won't shut up about it. Plain and simple. I'm so serious. You have no excuse anymore. You have no excuse anymore. You're going to make the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. Congratulations. Go do something now. Go do anything with your career. You were supposed to win multiple Norris trophies at some point in your career. And now you have deteriorated to this. Looks good on you. Looks real good on you. Clown. What a clown. Oh, my God. I can't wait for him to complain because Mikola's his partner. Oh, my God. Such a clown. He's such a clown. Oh, my God. And shout out Kyle Davidson because the Hawks had zero leverage in this situation and still came back.
He was pretty much, it was one team. Dallas didn't even have interest in him.
Fuck that. We don't want that. It's bad when Dallas says we'd rather have Matt Dumba and Ilya Lyubushkin.
And Cody Cece.
We'd rather deal with 3 pylons on our right side than deal with your stupid ass. Oh, God. And in a vacuum, yeah, this trade's great for Florida. It's great.
I think it's fair trade for both sides. That's what I mean. I think the perception on Seth Jones is fucked, and a lot of it's not his fault, but I think a lot of it is his fault.
Recently, it's been his doing. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame him for the Hawks' lack of success the last 4 years, but I am sure going to blame him for fucking pouting in the corner for 4 years, not saying shit. Promise you, if you said this shit last year, Davidson probably would have got off his horse sooner and done moves, but sure. Just wait till, stupid. What a dumb season this has been. I'm so glad he's off the team. He was at the end of the day, that contract was always going to be a logjam on the right side. It was always going to cause that, especially with Rinzel's development. You might not have a number one defenseman for 2 years, but it does not fucking matter.
Go sign Orlov in free agency. Go sign Aaron McLeod, which would be kind of funny if they did that. After getting rid of Jones to Florida.
Just a joke. And I'm so glad they got Spencer Knight. I know Spencer Knight's had his personal issues and whatnot, but this guy has proven he's been a good NHL goalie multiple years. He's playing tonight, which I thought was pretty admirable considering we're basically throwing Mrazek to the Wolves now, which I think is kind of funny. Kyle Davidson's literally doing the Toy Story 2. I don't want to play with you anymore with his goalies. But to have that tandem of him and Soderblom, which basically gives them time to see if one of Comesso or Guyan can develop with Spencer Knight, that's a good position to be in. Your 1C is Bedard, your 1D is Levshunov, your 1G is Spencer Knight. You got those three sorted out now. That's a good spot to be in. And, I think Spencer Knight's making 4.5 till the end of next year. Who knows? Maybe he produces and that's your starting goalie for the future. If not, it's a pretty good flyer to take. The accolades speak for themselves with this guy. He almost single-handedly beat the Lightning in the playoffs a few years back. I think they would have if he started game one instead of Bobrovsky. They get another first-round pick. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't want to see them draft this pick. This pick should be traded again for a player, but that's just me. I think you're past the time of picking in the 20s on first-round picks. It's not going to help you for the future. Guys like Vanacker are great, but you could flip that pick into an actual player that's going to help you right now. And I think that's where Davidson has to pivot.
You need more JJ Peterkas and not like Merrick Vanackers.
Yeah, 100%.
Instead of hitting singles and taking walks, it's
ironically, JJ Peterka got picked right around there too. So
yeah,
so it's like you could get a big. It's the fucking what's the Family Guy thing? It's a box. It could be a boat.
Yeah,
We're done playing the mystery box game.
The boat's a boat, but the box could be anything. It could even be a boat. Yeah,
literally. Yeah, so like I said, at the end of the day, I think the trade's very fair. I think it's great that the Hawks didn't have to retain more than 2.5 mil, which according to the rest of the NHL, that's very steep. But when you look at the Hawks, where they have 87 million in cap in 2 years, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
That's going to be pocket change in even just a couple of years, because I'm pretty sure the cap's supposed to go up to I think 113.5 million, something crazy like that. And that's conservative. That could even go up more potentially.
Think about it. The only guy on the team that's going to get substantial money is Bedard. Nazar, with the rate it's going, they'll probably bridge him. Korchinski's not getting a big contract right off the shoot. They got Vlasic locked up. They're not going to have to pay anyone.
They're going to be playing Vlasic as a third pairing defenseman, and he's eating number one minutes and playing the toughest competition.
Yep, and they're in a position right now to where they could retain that much salary. I think the highest in the league right now is Carlson, 1.5, but this team, even when they're at their best, I don't think 2.5 million is going to make or break them in that fourth or fifth year.
And it shouldn't. And if it does, then I think that's more.
That's more to whatever Davidson did within those 5 years, because he's got a clean slate right now to work with, which is what he's wanted the whole time. You just got rid of the biggest cancer in the locker room. Time to put your stamp on this team. Besides 98, and 98 wasn't even your stamp. That's just lottery balls falling in place.
That's just pure fucking luck.
That's pure luck. God. That's pure luck. It's time for you to have the best offseason you've had. This is a good start. I think this is a very good start. I think you and I could both agree. Even with the amplified pressure, we thought this was an offseason trade. I didn't think this was going to be able to be done in the regular season.
No.
Like we said earlier, the fact that it was one team basically that he had leverage with. We saw this with Taylor Hall.
Yeah. He was backed into a corner, and he still managed to get a goalie who went in the top 15 in 2019, who still could be a superstar goalie in this organization, and also got a first-round pick. And like you said, if they should be parlaying that into players for right now, whether that's JJ Peterka or whoever you want to get. And maybe they don't make the trade right now, but to me, even if you can't find a player right now, in the draft, you can use those first-round picks to package up and potentially get 2 top 5 picks. What if you get a Michael Misa and a Victor Eklund or something? I don't know. We've seen
Misa,
Kyle Davidson.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, there you go. We've seen Kyle Davidson, he's whiffed on some stuff, trying to trade up and get Ivan Demidov last year. But then you also see him connect with the Seth Jones trade, backed into a corner, 0 leverage, and was still able to come out with Spencer Knight in that first round pick. Kind of to wrap up the Seth Jones end of things, because I still have a lot of thoughts about Seth Jones, but yeah, I'm just kind of glad he's gone now. Yeah, it's $7 million for the Florida Panthers. Absolutely, I'm taking
It's awesome.
Seth
I'm
Jones.
not.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And like, he's not going to be the number one guy in Florida. Like, that belongs to me. That belongs to Forsling and Ekblad. But you're probably going to be that next year if they don't re-sign Aaron Ekblad. And to me, like, you've got a reputation to fix, because to me, Seth Jones is kind of like Pierre-Luc Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois, funny enough, former teammates requested a trade out of Columbus, went to Winnipeg,
both are
requested a trade
cancers.
from
Who would have
Winnipeg,
guessed?
and then went to LA. It didn't work out, but hey, now he's in Washington, and I think he's on pace to break his career high in points. So, like, there is precedent for players requesting trades multiple times and then finally going on and making it work. But you have to do that. I have no doubt in my mind, like, things are going to be better in Florida. He might get the first power play unit over maybe Ekblad. I don't know if Forsling gets first power play unit, but he's certainly going to have a better team to play against. But to me, there's more of a spotlight on you now, even more in Chicago, because it's you. Even though he was playing bad a lot of the time, like, you had the excuse, well, Chicago isn't a good team, which isn't true, but I think a lot of that has to do with Seth Jones. But now that you're in Florida, a team that is trying to go for back-to-back Stanley Cups, like, you got to show why you're still getting paid $9.5 million in salary, as even though you're only getting paid $7 million by the Panthers. You're going to be playing against Tampa Bay tonight. You're going to have to go up against Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point. I would assume, with how the standings are look right now, and usually how the Atlantic Division goes, you're probably going to have to play the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first or second round if they want to repeat. So, yeah, it's time to shut up. For Seth Jones, this is 2 times you've done this now. In summer 2021, he wanted that trade, and I could say, like, same thing. Dallas, I don't think wanted him. I don't think Colorado either. They were probably like, oh yeah, we'll take Seth Jones for that price of money. No, I'm good. And then Chicago, even though Columbus had no fucking leverage, gave them. I was listening to the podcast that we did after that trade, and we were just so distraught. And
it's almost like we knew this trade was bad from the jump, from the fucking jump. Like, I'm sorry, with the second that rumor dropped in like May 2021, you and I both looked at each other and we were just like, okay, so a smart team would just go sign Dougie Hamilton and not give up assets. But, you know, Stan's going to be the fucking idiot, sign the older defenseman and pay him more. Good job. Idiot. Just idiot. Gong show of a GM. And now he's running the Oilers into the ground. So get excited.
And the Oilers aren't.
They're going to trade for Donato and Mrazek for Matt Savoy. Get so fucking excited.
We'll send them Connor Murphy as well.
No, I actually want to keep Connor Murphy. Like, you have to keep at least one veteran defenseman on this team, and I think Murphy fits that perfectly. You're going to have a lot of guys coming in who are very offensively inclined. Murphy's the perfect guy to pair with those guys. And the best part about Murphy, he's not going to be healthy a full 82 games. So you'll be able to play the kids more. And for the people that are like, oh, how are the Blackhawks going to fit in 26 minutes a night or whatever the fuck Jones is playing?
Actually, pretty easily, honestly.
Very easily, actually.
Ethan Del Mastro, I'm pretty sure led the Blackhawks. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Wyatt Kaiser looked great as well. It's like, I don't think this team realized how much of a burn Seth Jones as a player, the personality, his contract was to this team. And then now that it's lifted, like, it seems like this team is just playing more free. Like,
wait, you're telling me like You're telling me I don't have to watch him get cooked and look at me like I'm the problem? Oh man, this is great. Like,
what? Me?
Dude, the amount of times I've seen him just mishandle a 2-on-1 and he just glares at his defensive partner. Like, buddy, you're the one that did that. That's your doing. I don't have to see that anymore. Thank God.
Dude, that was like,
he doesn't have to drag down Vlasic anymore. Get excited.
Yeah, it was like Mike Smith letting it from the other end and then looking at his other team.
Literally, bro. He looks right at the defenseman. He's like, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, NHL players take an accountability challenge. Impossible. Oh God. But
yeah, I'm glad Seth Jones is gone. I think you share the same sentiment as me.
I've been ready for him to be gone for 4 years. So just like, and it sucks too, because when he's on his A game, he has shown glimpses of being that number one defenseman at times. 100%. I'm not going to pretend like he hasn't, but those moments don't come more than the moments of him where you're just scratching.
They're few and far between for a guy who's getting paid $9.5 million.
You shouldn't be having like 3 Jake Gardner plays a game when you're being paid $9.5 million. And Jones has about 3 of those every game, and one of them happens to be on the power play all the time. Because, you know, he thinks he's Kale fucking McCarr every shift. So have fun with that, Florida, because he's gonna look off your entire team and take some bullshit shot every now and then. Like, yeah, that worked against Utah a couple nights ago. Congratulations. It's the first time it's worked all fucking year for you, bud. Jesus.
Something broken clock, something
blind. Literally, bro. Something blind squirrel, something finds a nut. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Cannot with this team, dude. Like, cannot with this team and cannot with this player. But it's all good. He's not our problem anymore. I hope he does well in Florida. Florida might win.
I think he will do well in Florida. It's just
if he doesn't, it's on him. He's got all the fucking help in the world. He's no excuse. There's zero excuse for him not to succeed in Florida. I'm sorry. Like, there's just no excuse. Also, sorry, go.
I was gonna say, you go from the team that drafted Connor Bedard in 2023 to a team that's gone to the Stanley Cup final and won once in that same time frame. Like, yeah, no shit, you're gonna be better. But if things do go wrong, like, what do you got to blame now? It's time to put up or shut up.
Yeah, 100%. And he's going to have the talent around him to do so. I think it's funny that Barkov and Jones are on the same team now. Like, we haven't mentioned that. That's hilarious.
That's true.
Oh, they took the wrong player last year. Well, they got both now. So
what if we got both? Yeah.
Get excited. Can't wait for Taylor Hall to go play with Tyler Seguin.
And then the Panthers are going to get Jonathan Drouin. They're just going to get, like,
God,
everyone from that top 4 that year. But, yeah, Florida, Bill Zito knew Seth Jones in Columbus. Florida has kind of been like a rehab for a lot of players. Like, I think of Sam Bennett, former 4th overall pick, didn't work out in Calgary, goes to Florida, and like just becomes this pest, like 50-point getter guy you can play against other teams' top competition. Like, other than Barkov, Ekblad, and Lundell, everyone they've either traded for or signed for in free agency. And I do like Kyle Davidson's approach of drafting. I think that's good. But we've seen with Florida and Vegas, like, yeah, you can draft as well, but you also got to have good pro scouting, and those teams know when to play, like, trade their prospects. Florida did this when they traded for Sam Reinhart, another like top 3, top 4 pick. They just they know what players to go after, and then when they go to Florida, they shine. So I'll let you go.
Yeah, I think it's also a case of knowing when to go after a highly touted player that's very successful, which Florida's done multiple times now with Matthew Tkachuk and Seth Jones and, you know, players of that caliber. And Vegas did the same with Eichel, Pietrangelo. When he was still good, Pacioretty, I'd throw in that group too, in terms of when they traded for him, at least. Like, they traded Nick Suzuki for him in hindsight. That's pretty fucking crazy to think about.
But like, Vegas has hit on those trades more often than not. Yeah, you're going to have some lifts, but it doesn't matter when
you get Jack Eichel, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
when
Mark
you get
Stone
Matthew Tkachuk, it doesn't. Yeah. Didn't even mention Mark Stone. Jesus fucking Christ. I hate Vegas. I hate Vegas so much. They're going to go trade for like Braden Shen this year, and it's going to make no sense.
No, they're going
to work. Oh my God. I hate this team. And I hope they get bounced in the second round because of it by the power of friendship Calgary Flames.
Let's go. But who's the defenseman they trade for Hannafin? Like Daniil Marinat? I don't even remember his name. He's going to score.
Dude, it doesn't matter. Like, every time they make a move like that, it doesn't matter who they give up. Honestly, what they give up? Edstrom for Hurdle? Like, they just drafted him. Who gives a shit? Mm-hmm. Smell you later. Like, we don't need these prospects. The only one that they've kept is Dorofeyev, and he's on pace for 30 goals. Go figure.
They're going to trade Trevor Connolly, who they drafted last year, I would think.
I'd trade him too. Jesus, a cancer, but that's besides the point. Hey, maybe he's trading to Florida. He fit right in with Seth and his mom. Get excited. Mm-hmm. Literally texted my sister. I was like, Amy Jones is in your zip code. Plan accordingly.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm glad they're gone, but yeah, Florida, like,
pretty sure she has me blocked on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think her and Seth Jones have me blocked.
What a crazy!
Which is funny because I feel like we have been pretty fair with Seth Jones. The whole fucking fan base hates Seth Jones, and
you know what's funny? I got clowned the night he got traded. by like Pete Blackburn and all those motherfuckers. Because I was just like, this is ridiculous. You don't give up this amount of talent for this player. And then they're like, oh, you got to spend something to get something for a number one defenseman. I'm like, cool. He's not a number one defenseman.
Yeah.
Do not care what you fucking say. He's not even the best defenseman on his own team.
Yeah.
It's Zach Werenski. Fuck, dude. He's never been the best defenseman on his team. And when he was, the team stunk. Go figure.
I got the worst of it. Do you remember like the unfortunate events when they were announcing the trade? It's like
at least it's not 8 years.
He'll probably sign 7 years. At least it's not 8 years, and then
8 years, fully no move. Just gonna rip my hair
God.
out. I forgot about that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
just
4 years ago. It's crazy how so much has changed from that. And again, like could have been a reality where everything worked out, but requesting that trade and like not knowing that the core of that team like is older, and at best you might have got 1 or 2 years of like like fighting for a playoff spot. Like the Blackhawks were never guaranteed to even make the playoffs that year. It's like, oh, maybe they make a wild card spot. If he was like a good soldier and like just shut up like Connor Murphy does, or like outspoke from the start and tried to be a leader, I think things would be different.
Yeah, I think year 2, if you start saying this is bullshit, yeah, they probably fucking do more. But also, the guy who's the GM did not sign you. We see this time and time again. I don't want the turd on my cake that I didn't even put on. Like, get off my hockey team. I can use that $9.5 million. Or $7 million in this case, to go get a Mikko Rantanen, or to go get a Nikolai Ehlers, or go get someone that is going to help Connor Bedard. Ugh.